Hello and welcome to round number 5 of the 2023 World Monoposto Sim Racing Championship from Watkins Glen in America. Who needs Miami when you have this classic circuit on your calendar? Good afternoon, welcome everyone. It's good to be back. I've missed the last couple of rounds. Before I left, there were no winners from Holland Team Racing, and Yanis Walborn's gone and won the last 2 races. So if there isn't an orange winner today, I'm open to bribes to staying away to help with their season. But we will find out. We're going to have another very interesting afternoon ahead of us. And I'm joined by the man who's been here all season long, who got to witness a very exciting conclusion as well last time out in Montreal. Robin Ciuman, good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, hi, thanks. I'm fine. Yeah, you really missed something last time out at Montreal. A fantastic finish to a fantastic race. But I hope today will be no different on this, yeah, as you said, amazing historic venue in the United States.
And a great venue it is too. It's a former stomping ground for both Formula One and IndyCar. If you're not familiar with it, let's find out a little bit more about it with our track day guide.
Welcome back to WMSC. My name's Ash, and this week it's our second consecutive race in North America at Watkins Glen, USA to be exact. Last used in IndyCar in 2017 and F1 in 1980, this track is fast but tight. Any mistake could be an instant killer for your race. But everyone is hyped for this one, so we'll take a ride in Daniel Benton-Reeder's Better Julia for one lap of the Glen. It's a relatively short run down to turn 1, a right-hander. Stay as close as possible to the curb. You can run the outside of the left curb on exit, but watch out for track limits there if you run it too wide. After turn 1, the cars climb uphill through the sweeping 2, 3 and 4. Throttle to the floor as you reach the back straight and the first of 3 DRS zones. Will anyone be brave enough to try and move into the bus stop? A series of quick left-right turns that require precise braking and throttle control. Throw the car through and hope it comes with you. Then it's the outer loop, a fast sweeping right-hand turn that leads down into the chute, a fast left-hander that you'll want to carry the momentum through, but don't overdo it as there's a wall right on the exit. Before you have time to think, it's straight into another long sweeping corner called Toe. This leads onto a short straight called the Boot, the location of the second DRS zone. And what's at the back of a boot? That's right, Heel, the 8th turn which may see an overtake or two this weekend. We then move infield and back uphill for turn 9, which Daniel absolutely throws the car into here. There's a curb on exit, but again, be wary of the wall. After a short straight, we head into the super fast turn 10 and then the final turn 11. Make sure you hit the apex, because if you carry too much speed here, you guessed it, there's another wall. Into the final DRS zone and across the line. We'll see you Sunday.
And thankfully, Sunday is here now, and it brings with us some more interesting weather. So the race itself is going to be pretty much a dry affair. There is still concerns about track temperatures during the race, but before then, rain showers possible in qualifying, temperature of 16 degrees. Rain will be lessened towards the end. So it could be very interesting. The timing of getting your lap in could prove vital. And remember, weather for each round of the championship, WMSC issues a forecast for each race ahead of time that's based on the statistical data of the location in the respective month and prepared by a neutral person. So that's where our forecast has come from today. And it could provide some interesting moments in qualifying. It could mix up our grid a little bit today, Robin.
Yeah, as you said, like rain is always like one of the big equalizers, and as we've seen in Kyalami, we may see some surprises turn up at the top.
Absolutely. And in terms of what is going on at the top, let's have a quick reminder of the drivers' standings. And coming into it, Yanis Walborn is our championship leader, 9 points clear of his teammate Pascal Polens. He had a fantastic fight with third place man last time out in Montreal, Philip Pushka, leading the fight for Epic Basilia. Max Riedmuller in fourth, doing very well considering he missed the first round of the championship. Alexander Hess in fifth. Denny Vella, who struggled the last couple of rounds after a strong start, in sixth. Lucas Murno, very much a fan favourite. It seems to be getting stronger race on race, in seventh. Lorenzo Turi, who I think was, after getting pole in the first one, we were expecting more from, and is sadly missing today, in eighth. Jeffrey Fournier, another missing driver today, in ninth, with Daniel Benton-Reader rounding out the top 10. In the team standings, well, with Holland Team Racing 1 and 2 in the driver's standings, they are very much in control in the constructors, over double the amount of the next nearest team, Epic Basilia. Maniti Racing in third, SCMM, I always trip over the right number of M's in that one, Scuderia CM Motorsport in fourth, Better Julia in fifth, Scuderia Cesario in in sixth, and I just want to point out to Optimal Esports down in eighth. They today are sporting a brand new lineup compared to the beginning of the season. We saw Reuven Meshida make his debut last time out, but they've got two completely new drivers now compared to where they started the season from, and they're both hotly tipped. We saw how well Meshida did last time out, and we're hoping for improvements from him today, but they might move up the standings today. In the meantime, Bostech, sadly the only team so far points, but today might be the day. You never know. Okay, so we are on to the fifth round of a 15-round calendar. This is our second track of the season that is not currently in Formula One, and this one long since removed, but I think this is a great circuit. One of my favourites, and I'm looking forward because it's going to be a very, very... I think it's going to be quite hairy when the cars go side by side through some places on this track today, because it's very quick and very sweeping and there's space to make the moves. But if you get it wrong, track's very unforgiving, Robin. I feel like it's, if you get a wheel wrong here, there's not acres of runoff. It's walls quite tight up to these very fast corners.
Yeah, I mean, the track has been improved and modernized through the years compared to when Grand Prix racing was held here the last time in 1980, I think it was. But the walls are still very, very close to the track, and a lot of corners are very, very fast and flowing. Yeah, it's surely going to be interesting.
Absolutely. And we've just had the call from race control that qualifying is about to get underway. So hopefully we'll now be able to go to the track and see what the skies are looking like and see how wet the track is. Thanks to everyone who's joined us so far on stream. We've got one eye on the stream in the background, so any questions, any comments we'll eye on throughout the afternoon, and hopefully we're going to be in for another interesting weekend. So yeah, in terms of, obviously I've been away for weeks, Robin, what would you say big moments I've missed from the last two races in Bahrain and Canada?
Well, I think in Bahrain, the most notable thing was Team Holland really putting the hammer down and really showing their potential. We were a bit disappointed by the results of the team. In the first two races, they were struggling with tire wear. They chose the wrong strategy and Kyalami. But in Bahrain, they were in absolute control of the race, and it was a 1-2 for them, and that really put them ahead in the constructors championship as well. What was also notable in Bahrain was streamline engineering, finally getting things right, but drama in the late stages of the race for Aaron Smith when he had problems with his wheel. So that was very, very dramatic. At least he managed to still score the first points of the season for Streamline. And then, of course, last time out in Canada, the weather, the strategy, it all came alive in the second half of the race. And until the very late stages, we've seen a move by Pushke on Wilborn, thinking, well, that will be it. But then Yanis, and I think it was the second to last lap, he has absolutely pulled off an amazing move on Pushke to retake the lead with only 2 laps to go. He kept it until the very, very end of the race. And it was an amazing battle we've seen in the closing stages last time out. And let's hope today will be just as exciting.
Absolutely. And it was a hell of a move as well. I actually was able to catch the tail end of that race last time. And my word, the move from Yannis Volborn to take the lead and go on to win the race. How he got it stopped, I do not know. He just seemed to lunge past Filip Puška and then make the corner. It was incredible. So let's hope for some more action like that today as qualifying begins. We have 20 minutes on the clock, and it is a wet start to the session. So hopefully to get progressively drier throughout. That is what the weather guidance gave us. So for now, people will just be hopefully getting bankers in. But I think everyone will have one eye on basically trying to find a good place on track to get their time in towards the end of the session, because the track will improve, no doubt about it. And immediately, Gino Gagliano getting a little bit sideways on the exit of the bus stop. He's still very much trying to find the grip. And if that graphic is correct, has he actually gone out on dry tyres? We had some issues last time out with some graphical glitches, not the graphics package, but actually in terms of what we could see with the tyres on the cars, in terms of what tyres they were on. I'm just going to find him on live timing. It does look like he's gone out on the soft tyres.
Yeah, and the performance indicates that indeed he is on dry tyres. He's trying it out, because look at the cars now going past him. I think it was both Optiminals. Yeah, they're on Inters, right? Yeah.
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, well, I mean, fair enough. You've got time in the session left to try it. That's fine, but I think it's very much a resounding no for now. So it looks like Ruben Meshida is going to be the first man round to give this a go and set our banker flying around the final corner. Go on board for a lap of Watkins Glen. Like I said, this is one of my favourite tracks. I've raced here in F3 cars. It was a lot of fun, and it's just such a sweeping track. Lots of places to gain time, but also lots of places to get it wrong. So we fire up the hill now through 2 and 3 onto the back straight. First of 3 DRS zones. And then we have the bus stop. So if anyone makes a move here, it might be very risky, because you suddenly go to having not very much space at all. It takes a healthy amount of curb through there. Finally through into the loop. Adjusting his throttle and position of the car there. And then down into the chute. On the brakes. And it pokes the car around. He's got a bit of traffic here. That's not ideal. He's ducked out the way. And then into the shoe-themed part of the lap. Oh, and it just gets a little bit too much power there. Just pushes a bit wide. Then we go through down the straight, which is called the boot. And then we head into heel. Towing on the throttle, trying to find the grip. Uphill into turn 9. Very snappy at the minute, has to be said. This thing definitely not very smooth. He's just trying to find his way through the final 2 corners and hit the apex on this one. Get on the throttle as soon as you can, and we power towards the line. So this is our first indicator. Ruben Meshida drops in a 1 minute 33.8. Oh, and Pascal Poens immediately goes out of the way, but not by much, 0.06 of a second. And everyone's following through now. Max Riedmuller, who is very good in the wet in Kyalami, very good again. But Vern von Vent has gone even better. 0.2 clear there. And
I think Riedmuller might have suffered from traffic. There were lots of cars ahead of him in the last second.
That makes sense. Brilliant from von Vent. Fantastic. Both of them up there. Max Heyman coming across the line. He's the man standing in for Lorenzo Turi today at Scuderia Cesario. Only 8th fastest for now. I was about to say, Dylan Fisher is the man who's coming at Optimal Esports. Like I said, they've got a completely new lineup. So they started the season with Davide Zanini and Remco Deziu. And Meshida joined us last time out in Canada. And then as of today, Dylan Fisher completes that lineup. So Fisher and Meshida hoping to turn their season around.
And Machida has even begun to do so, scoring the first points for Optimal last time out as Lucas Murno goes up into third.
Good lap. Very good time from Lucas Murno. Joined Dylan Fisher now. Bit of traffic ahead, not ideal. But it is a usually very quick Team Holland car. Fails out here.
Yeah, I
And
think
that
he's
brings
going for the intermediates because he's on the full wets, and so has been Yannis Wilborn. But I think we can see now that the Inter right now is the faster tyre.
Absolutely. And just with Fisher going in the pits there, that brings to one of the interesting things today, which is the pit entry. It's not in the best place, admittedly. It's sort of right in between those final two turns. And basically everyone's just got to try and stay right and make their intentions clear there. But obviously the apex of the final turn is also by the pit entry. So hopefully we won't see people tripping over each other, but got to behave well. That was, we have a car off the track. Looks like the other Infernal Void as we follow Aaron Curtis round. I think that was Lucas Murno having an off there. Okay, we'll try and keep you up to date with all the changes to the lineup as we go. I don't think we are joined by any streamline cars today, which is a shame. But a healthy grid of 18 cars and some new names as well as some familiar ones today. Should be a good race.
Yeah, absolutely, it should. And right now, I am kind of under the impression that... Oh no, just Pushka proves me wrong before I even say it. Pushka has actually, he hasn't had a lap so far. But I was under the impression that right now there weren't any improvements for the guys running on the Inters, which is bad news for Wilborn and Fisher.
An excellent from Pushka there into third. So definitely after this early period, it seems like, yes, it's the Inters. The big question is, will the track improve enough to then allow some runs on the dry tyre towards the end of the session? At the minute, rain is at 30%. We'll see if that lessens within the next 12 minutes. It looks very wet. I'd be very surprised if it suddenly becomes dry enough. But then again, you'll probably speak better on this from Montreal. It looked so wet still in Montreal, but the dries were working, at a level of wetness that I didn't think would be possible. They were making it work on those tyres.
Yeah, exactly. We were very surprised to see that, but the dries actually worked very well. Or at least Pushka and Wilborn made them work in these conditions. So maybe we will see some guys trying it, some guys don't. But we will need to see how the situation develops.
Absolutely. So as it stands, only 3 drivers yet to set a time. David Junt, Philip Feckler, Bartosz Karpeta. Karpeta is the other man who's not just a sub for Scuderia Cesare. He's now in for the rest of the season, taking over from Roy Seifert. They've had some trouble with that second seat. It was originally supposed to be Yannick Barwig. Roy Seifert stepped in, and now we have Bartosz Karpeta here. Going to be... And he's out on the full wet by the looks of it, so not taking any risk at this point, but hoping to still get a banker in. Oh, very, very stabbing at the throttle there, trying to just trying to get on the throttle as soon as he can, but he's just struggling for grip.
He's going to go into the wall.
Keeps it going. But unfortunately, that is a trip back to the pits. Replace that wing before he can get a lap in. Struggling for confidence there, but still got some time. No need to panic just yet. René Vella, in the meantime, on green first 2 sectors. Final 2 corners we go. Seems to have an Infernal Void car crawling all over him. If he's looking to get clear for his own fast lap. Sadly, no improvement there for Vela. He stays 15th.
Yeah, as you were talking about the Scuderia Cesarius, it's great to see these red cars now back on the grid as both of their drivers, or they didn't have any drivers for Montreal, so we didn't see any Scuderia Cesario car in Canada, but now they're back with 2 entries, and it's great to have them back.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely. And hopefully they can, start to turn their season around. Lorenzo is a good driver and he'll be good to see him back when he is. But Max Heyman also a fantastic driver, so hopefully he can get some points for them today. As Yannis Volborn powers to the line. And he goes second. Great time from him. So, just over half the session gone. It's Reed Muller from Volborn, from Von Vent, Benton Reeder in fourth, Philip Pushko in fifth, Pascal Polens in sixth. Interesting again, Maniti Racing said they're a high downforce team. Reed Muller was fantastic in Kyalami. Both of their cars performing well in these conditions, so they could hopefully get themselves in a good slot today. We know it's not going to be raining for the race, so they're not going to have that advantage there, but it gets them in the mix, so doing very well indeed. But don't write off Volborn. He's something of a Rainmeister, and so is Pushka. So they're all in the mix. There's quite a few. I'd say there's any of that top 6 with a potential. But Reed Muller, 4/10 clear at the minute. He's very much the man to beat. Yannis Volborn has gone purple, though, in the first 2 sectors.
Yeah, he wants that Rainmeister title back, because Reed Muller so far, last time he went kind of under our radar, as he was out of contention pretty early, being tangled up in some incidents. But when the rain came, he was the fastest car on track.
Well, this could be very interesting, but he's getting a little bit out of shape. He's managed to keep his foot in it into turn 11. Going a little bit sideways, very stylish. No points for style, sadly, but across the line. And it is enough to take him to pole position by another 4/10. So he's bested himself by 8/10. So he's gone from being 4/10 down to 4/10 up. Yannis Volborn, very much the man to beat at the minute.
Yeah, great to see the onboard of him going through that last sector. You can really see how much he's fighting with the car and how much he's on the edge. So, a great lap, considering the circumstances here.
Absolutely. So much of it is about confidence and bravery. It's not necessarily going to look tidy in these conditions as Philip Feckel goes 16th. It's just about making sure you can keep the car going and just push the power. Now, here comes Bartosz Karpeta. He's got a time on. I've had some issues, so it is 27 off. So not representative, but still just trying to tangle with the car. Very much fighting the car and the conditions at the minute. Hopefully he can get an improvement in. But he'll be very happy that we are in for a dry race.
Yeah, I mean, this is also like his first time stepping in as a driver and being met with these conditions. It's not ideal for him to learn and to find his way into the championship. Oof. He manages to keep it out of the wall this time, though.
No, not at all. It's a tough situation to make a debut. Going to get it round, and he's going to set a time on the board, and it will be an improvement. It remains 17th. Although, actually, to be fair, that's probably been cancelled out because he went so wide. I imagine track limits has caught him on that one. Oh, it looked like he was about to have a moment there.
Has he caught it, though?
I know. Well, there's no yellow flag, so I'm going to go with yes. As we Max Heyman into the penultimate corner. Nice and tidy there. Through turn 11. Hopefully not put off by the car entering the pits. A little example of what I was saying there. Across the line. An improvement, but remains 10th.
Max Heyman, of course, is the team boss of Scuderia Cesario, so very interesting to see him driving for his own team. When
very
was
much.
the last time we've seen that?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, if I had an encyclopedic knowledge of the early days of F1, I'm sure there'll be moments where team bosses would have. Graham Hill drove. Did Graham Hill drive for his own team?
Yeah, I think Jack Brabham as well. So I think these two, but it must have been around some of that time was the last time, probably.
Yeah, 60s, 70s, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh no, there was this Fittipaldi Coposucar team. I mean, I don't know if Emerson was actually the team boss of that, but I think we're getting a little bit off the topic. Let's just see what Dylan Fisher is doing here. Could be an improvement on his previous time. And it is.
It is. Solid debut for him so far. Not bad at all. And then issues there on exit with the car just trying to come out. As long as you keep 2 tyres right of the pit exit line, you are okay. But yeah, very tight at both entry and exit round here. That'll be interesting when pits come in the race. And if there are any people who are very heavy on their trivia and do know the last time a team boss drove for their own team, drop it in the chat, and you can be our researchers for us, because we've got plenty of action going on track as we enter the final few minutes. And Max Riedmuller has just gone and put it on pole by 0.3. Yannis Volborn, though, has gone purple twice. Rain is down to 15%, so this is it. The track evolution now could be quite rapid as more and more grip is going to appear. So I'd expect time start to tumble quite a lot as Von Vent makes an improvement there up into 4th.
Poland's into 3rd.
This could be very interesting now from Volborn. This could be, again, this could bring us down into the 130s. And immediately he's much tidier than we saw his last on-board lap there. Very tidy indeed. Powers towards the line. Surely this is a 1:30. It's even better. Oh, it's 1:30 dead. So that looks daunting at the minute, but other times are about to fall. I'm absolutely sure of it. And we join Riedmuller. He's gone green in the first sector and green in the second sector by 0.3. So time's going to come down at the minute, unless he has something of a godlike final sector. It looks like he's just going to improve his second place time.
Will be interesting to see how much he improves on it, though, because that lap of Wilborn, I reckon it's hard to beat, even for Riedmuller. And now he's traffic.
Oh, that is not ideal at all.
But I think it might have just worked, even without losing too much time. He just slayed past.
Well, it affected him, though. He's got a yellow final sector, so he's improved. But yeah, unfortunately, Epic Basilia car in the way there. Oh, and Hess has just suddenly gone up to 3rd. Still a remarkable 2 seconds away from the pole time, so I'm still waiting to think the rest of the field has got time to catch up and close the gap here.
Yeah, I mean, Wilborn and Riedmuller, they are in a league of their own right now. And no one is coming anywhere close to their lap times.
Now let's see what Daniel Benton Reader can do at this point. Oh, very, very shaky, but he's kept his foot in it and he's still going. That's the important thing. And it's enough for 3rd. The times are going to tumble. I'd say anything from 3rd place down is anyone's guess at this point. Giano across the line, and sadly no improvement. Traffic proving an issue. He's almost having to try and race the Costec into turn 1. Lucas Murno up to 4th now. Pushka coming round on a very much improved lap. I think that's 0.7 up in the middle sector. So he could get himself into a good starting position. Had a warning for Denny Vella on something on off screens. I'm not sure what that was about.
Denny Weller was the one holding up Riedmuller in the last corner. I think it was the number 8, Better Julia. Might have to do something with that.
That would be it. That does make sense. Pushka up to 5th. Hess knocks Pushka down to 6th. He goes up to 4th. So they're all very much around similar times. Ruven Meshter up to 7th.
Von Wendt now sadly tumbling down the order.
See, we're getting an idea of things in their order now, but obviously completely different conditions due for the race. So it will all change again.
And Riedmüller once again is slower in the first sector, and this will be his final shot at pole position. Benson Reed up into second right now, and I think he might have even even able to put another lap in, because it was just ahead of the checkered flag. So
Very
he might
interesting.
meet the best track conditions now.
So this is where the timing is so important for this, because Riedmüller, it looks like he might still be able to improve. It depends how good this final sector is. I mean, again, traffic, but hopefully not going to be close enough to bother him too much. It's Kostek looking like it's failing out.
Oh no, it's a crash!
And that is exactly what we were worried about in terms of that final corner pit entry. He's just on the apex. He was going to have to either completely bail his lap either way, and it's ended up being an unfortunate end. Someone who hasn't been able to bail, though, is Ruben Meshida. He's going to fire across the line. What's his improvement? It stays 9th.
This is going to be a good lap by Poland's. So I think that might be good enough to put him into the front row. If, of course, he isn't held up here through these final 2 turns.
Some compliant traffic there. Someone bailed out the way, so he's got a clear run at 10 and 11. Very much on the inside, a bit shaky on exit, but he's held it. Power towards the line. This looks like a good lap. And it's enough to put out of nowhere to suddenly put both Holland Racing Team cars on the front row of the grid. What a final lap that is from past Poland's. Suddenly within half a second of his teammate, and that might be it. What a result that is for Holland Racing Team. But disaster, it has to be said, for Max Riedmüller. What a shame that is. So, Yannis Volborn takes position, a 1 minute 30, an incredible time. Teammate just under half a second behind. Daniel Benton-Reeder with a very strong lap. Max Riedmüller in 4th. Very disappointing. He comes across the traffic. There's a chance there for him to maybe be on the front row of the grid, but alas, he's there. Philip Pushka in 5th. Hess is in 6th. Matt Taman, fantastic from the team boss to qualify 7th. Lucas Murno again continuing his own personal improvement in 8th for Infernal Void. Denny Vella is 9th. Ruven Meshida is in 10th for Optiminal. Jörn von Wendt, who showed early promise, wasn't able to just find more time. So he's 11th. Dylan Fisher on his debut in 12th. Rene Vella in 13th. Bartosz Karpeta in the end, very respectable, it has to be said. And apologies for that slight pause there. We're just getting rumour about a grid penalty, which I'll mention in a second. So yeah, well done to Bartosz on his debut for 14th ahead of Gino Gagiano. Aaron Curtis is in 16th. And Philip Feckler, he is the subject of that grid penalty we've just been told about. He's going to be given a 5-place drop, so he'll basically start at the back behind David Junt. Did you catch what that was for? Sorry, Robin? What the 5 grid? One?
I think it was indeed for that Max Riedmüller incident, but to be honest, I think the pit entry should get that 5-place grid penalty. I mean,
yeah, I agree. I don't think unless you've got to think it really ahead of time there. It's almost like he had to bail out on the straight before if he knows he's going in, because he didn't do anything wrong. He was on pit entry, and there's sadly nowhere else to go when it's on the apex. But yeah, there we go. So that is our qualifying. It is an orange front row, dominating the Constructors' Championship. So very shortly we will rejoin for the race. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one because it's going to be completely different conditions. See what happens. We'll see you very shortly for the race itself.
yeah,
Now.
now it's going.
5 red lights are on, and we're on the way at Canada. Good start from Volborn from pole position. Oh, Meshida goes deep into turn 1, has to cut through the escape road. Good start also by Poland. He moved up into third. Meshida in second, I expect.
Riedmüller lost places.
Yeah. Oh, and there's
he
a collision.
Crash.
Oh,
Yeah.
there is
That
multiple
will be a
cars
safety
out.
car.
The...
3 cars
oh,
out
no.
at least.
And I think it's... Is he out of this race? Oh, let's see what happened at the start. This is going to be interesting. This is what happened to Lucas Murno.
Quite a few cars with smoking engines. They got hot on that long standing time.
Murno went quite aggressively into turn 1. And...
It's a real surprise that Pushka's cut through the second corner didn't cause chaos. Yeah, just yeah.
There was a better Julia. No, sorry, not a better Julia. Epic Basilia car as well. Now they're going, and that has really helped Pascal Polens. He might even be able to attack Meshida into turn 1, and yes, he is. He's already passed. Meshida late on the brakes and keeps second. Oh, there's
behind
a collision in the background.
René Weller, I think.
Yeah, René Weller and once again
there was a crash with Weller. There
Riedmüller.
was a crash with Weller. Not fast enough to pull away. Let's see.
What's that? Now this will be René Weller's rejoin.
Oh.
Yeah, that was clumsy. That was...
I mean, I don't understand why he went to the left again. That's just, you know.
Nini. Zanini made it through, but he's unable to keep it, and now he's vulnerable to René Weller behind him as well. Oh. Aggressive driving there by Zanini.
Benton Reader has a penalty.
Yeah. That makes sense. Now there is an attack by Danny Weller against Aaron Curtis. Weller moves past and is up into the top 10 once again. Points might still be on the cards for Danny. In Bahrain.
And he's going for Fournier now.
Yep. That looks good. Can he keep it? Oh, Fournier trying the counter-attack.
One little spray.
There goes Meshida. Oh.
Has let him place to live there.
Yeah. But now I think Meshida, yeah, he should make it past. I think there's nothing to
on the old hearts.
Yeah, there's nothing for him to do about that now.
Oh!
Oh,
Weller into the wall, but still everything on.
Oh, that's
late.
a bit late. Yeah, I don't
It
even think...
has, again, you know, with a lot of space for the rival car.
Yeah. But I think he avoided a collision like that. So now Benton Reed
could have made it without any problems.
Yeah. There he goes again.
Meschede in the pits again.
Oh, he is really pushing him around the course, and now he's left him. I think he let him
through. I think, yeah. But he will overtake him on the straight.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure of that.
There was no call by race director. It is. Not enough to...
Yeah, maybe now on the back. Yeah, he should...
He's very close. Can he attack? Yes, he's going for it late on the brakes, but this is... Yeah, he has...
Unbelievable that he made the corner still. I thought he was going straight.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
He's kept it between the white lines. Only just, but it was good enough to move past. And look at the background. Pascal Polens is there as well.
And Polens was very late on the brakes.
Towards the final corner we go. I don't think Polens will be able to attack Pushka once again. Neither do I think Pushka will be able to attack Woolborn. Here they go towards the final corner. Yanis Woolborn with an impressive overtake on Philip Pushka a couple of laps ago. Takes the race win here in Montreal. Back-to-back wins. He's the first time repeat winner of the WMSC. Congratulations to Yanis Woolborn. Philip Pushka finishes second. Pascal Polens, great finish for him as well. That he was so close to these two in the end. He finished fourth. Max Riedmüller fourth.
Welcome back to round 5 of the World Monoposto Sim Racing Championship from Watkins Glen in America. The race is about to start. We are about to go for our formation lap, but we have an all-orange front row after what looked like it was going to be a straight fight between Yannis Volborn and Max Riedmuller for pole position. Riedmuller with an unfortunate incident ruining his final lap, meaning that Pascal Polens was then able to come in with a fantastic lap of his own to seal the front row, Benton Reeder in third. But we have our main 3 championship contenders in the top 4. In the top 5. Our main 4 championship contenders in the top 5, and that's why you don't hire me to do maths. But as we run round for our formation lap, let's have a look again at the full grid, and we can have a reminder of who is starting where. So yes, Yannis Volborn, Pascal Polens are the front 2. Daniel Benton Reeder and Max Riedmuller take up the second row of the grid. Philip Pushka, our race winner from Australia, is on row 5 next to Alex Hess. Max Heyman on his debut for Scuderia Cesario alongside the brilliant Lucas Murno in 8th. Denny Vella in 9th alongside Ruben Meshter in for his second race of the season. Then Jörn von Vent in 11th. Dylan Fisher on his debut for Optimal in 12th. Renny Vella 13th and Bartosz Carpeta, another debutant, in 14th. Gino Gagliano for SCMM in 15th, while Aaron Curtis is down in 16th. David Junt didn't set a time, but starts 17th as Philip Feckler, unfortunately, the receiving end of a big punt from Max Riedmuller, given a 5-placed grid penalty, all about the pit entry. And that could be an issue during the race. So as we're on board now, and we're about to come up to where the pit entry is, and you'll see a line up here on the right-hand side of the screen, just here. There it is. That is the pit entry. So obviously if someone is there and needs to stay inside to the right of that line, you know, that's the apex of the corner. So anyone who's not going in the pits just needs to have their awareness, needs to be sensible. Anyone's going into the pits needs to state their intention very clearly. So I think everyone's gone for the more aggressive setup in terms of tyres.
Yannis Volborn is really heading towards the left. He's like very diagonal in his starting box.
He wants to get straight over to the racing line. As the revs come up, the lights come on, and they go out in Watkins Glen. And it's always a very aggressive, almost Schumacher-esque start from Volborn. He's straight over onto the racing line. People having a look, but it is going to be line of stern 1-2. The Team Holland Racing through to start leaders up the hill. Everyone seems to be through clearly. It's
Riedmuller
Volborn,
up into third.
and that's an important place for him to grab there, absolutely. And it is going to be Volborn from Poland, from Riedmuller, from Benton Reeder, Pushka, from Hess, Heyman, from Murno, from Meshida. Von Vent rounds out the top 10 through the bus stop for the first time. Can everyone keep it together? No one making any silly moves here. It's just all in a straight line, nice and easy. The race is not won on lap 1, but it can absolutely be lost. We head towards Toe for the first time. And already the Holland cars looking pretty racy. You have a yellow in sector 1. Everyone,
I think it's got to do with Carpeta. Yeah.
That's unfortunate on his debut.
I think he's missing his rear wing. Yeah, he's driving without a rear wing.
Oh, that must have been contact. So much for me saying that they got through clearly. There must have been something. We'll come back to that in a minute. But as it stands, Yannis Volborn leads, but Riedmuller seems to be closing into the back of Pascal Polens. He'll want to try and break these two up and get on the attack and on the front foot. He did a great job of making sure he got past Benton Reeder in the opening phase. Runs it out wide. Need to be careful not to go too wide there. As you can see, the track still has some wet patches, but very much still okay for dry tyres.
Maybe as you mentioned tyres, they've made it quite easy for us to follow, so everyone is on the mediums, except Aaron Curtis and Philip Feckler. They are on the super softs, and well, obviously they've all gone for the super soft and medium sets of tires to choose from.
And there was talk about what the potential strategies might be before the race, because they were worrying about track temperatures as things go on. And also, it's a very high tyre wearing circuit. There's lots of fast sweeping corners that do take it out the tyres. And it was a case of, right, are people going to manage their pace and go for the harder set but go one stop? Or is it going to be push and go for two stop? And it seems like everyone is going to do the latter and push and go for a two stop strategy this afternoon. So we'll see how that plays out. Previously, Team Holland had issues with their tyres. They seem to have fixed those. Ruven Meshda, an incredibly quick driver, he's down an 8 today. Also quick, had issues with tyres last time out as they kick up spray coming through the final turn. Fastest lap from Yannis Walborn. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But at the minute, it's what can Max Riedmuller do to try and break this orange wall at the front?
Well, honestly, I don't think there is all too much he can do. We've seen this situation in Bahrain when he was obviously able to go quicker than Poland's, at least at some points of the track, but he just didn't find a way past because the Team Holland cars were so much quicker on the straights and in the DRS zone. So Riedmuller with DRS wasn't able to close up to Poland's without DRS. So he might find himself in the same situation here once again.
It's the perfect little DRS train. He's got DRS just to help with the defense. Fortunate, so Max is just going to have to try and push as best he can and see if he can maybe force a mistake or pounce on something, or a late lunge similar to that we saw from Walborn back in Montreal. We'll have to see. Otto Scarpetta has retired. And I know this not because I spotted it on the graphics, but because he has commented on the stream with the words, "Perfect debut from me. I've managed to drive almost the whole first corner." In fairness, Bartosz, you got a bit further than that. You did get through some of the first lap as well. So sorry to see it didn't go well for you, but it's your debut. I think the conditions haven't been the best, but hopefully we'll see you out there next time. As Max now not looking too far away from Pascal through the S's. But I don't think this straight is quite long enough to lunge from that far back. I'd be surprised if we see many overtaking moves into the bus stop. It gets so tight through there. And now we have a replay. Is this going to be the race start? This is going to be what happened to Bartosz. So, decent qualifying performance for him on his day. He started 14th, and it's a getaway as well. Yeah. It's a very good getaway. Let's see what happens. There's going to be a squeeze into turn one. A little touch there, but he's still going. But unfortunately just loses back end and into the wall.
Yeah, there might have been some contact with Curtis as well. That spun him around entirely. I don't know.
Yeah, it's either a little bit of a nudge in the pack, or it's, as mentioned, there are some puddles still on track.
Yeah, but no, I think he started spinning by himself, but there might have been some contact that made it worse. I don't know. It looked like that from that situation, but I might be wrong though. Maybe Bartosz, you can tell us in the chat what happened.
Oh yeah, he thinks he's tapped as well. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yannis Walborn there dropping in a 1:20. So already we are 10 seconds faster in the race than we were in qualifying due to the conditions. And it is line of stern, 1 second apart. Walborn, Poland's, Riedmuller.
Poland's just had the DRS, I think, but it will be interesting to see what happens when he doesn't have it anymore. Oh, Lucas Murno. Bit of cutting through the grass there. Maybe let's talk about DRS. I think you mentioned it in the track day video as well. But since this is a circuit that hasn't been in the F1 calendar, so that we aren't too used to where the DRS zones are. We have 3 DRS zones. This is one of them, where we see Lucas Murno going through, and the other one is the pit straight and the long straight towards the bus stop chicane. So these are the 3 DRS zones on this track. Right, Ash? Did I miss anything? Or?
No, absolutely. Yeah. And it's going to be interesting to see if anyone can make it work, because they're all relatively short straights as well. So it's going to be as equally important to make sure you get a better exit of the preceding corner as well. So if, for example, maybe you are being chased and you don't have a good exit out of toe or out of the final corner, that's when people may pounce. And, Lucas has been, like as we say, improving race on race, but Meshida has shown he's got some pace as well. So this is going to be very interesting to see if Meshida can navigate his way past. We're going to be so brave through the bus stop. We're going to take a healthy amount of curb, but then ride out the bumps. Make sure you don't lose it under your own steam. Down into the chute. The Meshida just closing up a little bit there.
David Yund is out of the race.
Not sure what happened there. Come down here again. We are stuck with a bit of a DRS train down that section because, yeah, Meshida is just not able to close up to Murno. Question is, can Murno close up to Hess? Because Hess is kind of on the limit of whether he can get DRS off Pushka. Head towards the line. Max Riedmuller sets a fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 19, so a good little warning shot to the Holland cars ahead.
I don't know, something must have happened to Wilborn. He must have had a little mistake somewhere because he was pretty much clear of Poland's. He had him out of the DRS window, and all of a sudden he lost over half a second. That put Poland's back into it. Oh, Lucas Murno side by side with Aaron Hess.
And there we go.
Aaron Hess, sorry.
Alex Hess. But, oh, well, and that shut me up. We do have a move into the bus stop, but it is DRS one gets it done very nicely beforehand. Very well done, Lucas. And yeah, on your previous point there, Robin, it looked like half a second slower Bolborn was than Pushka in the final sector of that previous lap. So something happened in sector 3.
Is really struggling right now. Might lose out to Meshida here as well.
Here we go, side by side. Meshida bails out of it though. Hess really struggling for some reason. Not feeling comfortable. It's always difficult in this situation. You want to be quick, but at the same time you've also got to drive within yourself and be consistent. As Pascal Polenz puts a fastest lap on the board. And they're right together.
Close they are.
They've closed right up. Okay, this could be very interesting because obviously Poland's, I don't know if there's team orders if he's not going to attack, but it's a case of, is he got enough now to defend from Riedmuller? I think he does. They're very close together through the bus stop. Not being affected too much by any dirty air from the car ahead. Oh, but he has gone a little bit wide on the exit of the loop. And that has very much allowed Riedmuller to close up. Could there be an opportunity now? They're really close together. Is he going to look?
He's not chance for Riedmuller.
Just bails out, but maybe the opportunity comes now on this next DRS zone into the boot. Got to be brave on the brakes to try and get through, but it's not quite there. That was a big opportunity. But the pressure is on.
Yeah, and I think these are the situations that Riedmuller has to look for because, as I've said earlier, it's hard to get a buy on the straights as the Team Holland cars are just so much faster than the Manitis on the straights. But if he manages to take advantage of even just a slight mistake of one of the guys ahead, Lucas Murno with the fastest lap. Now, this is very interesting.
Got a bit of clear air ahead of him as we have a replay now. Oh, and this is the retirement of David Yunt. Looks like he's just pulled in under his own steam. I wonder what the issue was there. Heading down the pit lane. Is it going to be just to retire? Oh, no, we're in for a pit stop. And
he's going.
That's it.
Yeah.
Retires from there. Okay. Not the most exciting retirement you'll ever see, but David Junt out of the race, and there's our second retirement of the day.
was a bit anticlimactic. I was expecting something to happen, but nope, straight in the paddock yard.
Another lap, and Reed Muller is looking a little bit tidier through that final corner. And Volborn, though, fires back into the 1 minute 18.9s now for Yannis Volborn. Head up the hill. See if there's any kind of closing through here. So DRS is open now. And then, before you know it, into the bus stop we go. Oh, and wow, Poland's having to take a healthy chunk of the bus
that might
stop.
have been a warning for track limits.
I'd imagine so, yeah. I think it's almost the case that actually being able to follow his teammate that closely through the bus stop, he must be getting some issues with dirty air through there. It can't be possible to flip through those corners and have that amount of downforce when you've got a car right ahead of you. But he's getting a little messy, though, as well now, it has to be said. Maybe there is the pressure from Reed Muller. Very wide, and Reed Muller now...
Yeah, but where do you make a pass here on this part of the track? I don't think that's possible.
No, he just needs to make sure he gets the entry, and he does.
No, but the exit isn't good enough.
As you said, it's the Team Holland cars are good in a straight line, but Maniti Racing have got a good downforce setup, and I'm just a little bit wide. Philip Pushka now firing in a fastest lap. He's in clear air.
Murno has caught up to Benton Reader as well after setting his fastest lap. But another 3-car battle, and Meshida is right with him again. Yeah, Lucas Murno, I think he's the biggest positive surprise of this season. We weren't expecting him to be a regular point scorer, but here he is now. Going for a third consecutive points finish, and it's not like a P8 points finish. He's going for P5 here.
His gradual development has been fantastic throughout the season. Oh, a little bit wide!
Commentator's curse. Well, he keeps it.
Been able to hang on, but again, it's because of the sort of corners there are where it's very fast and carrying a lot of speed. You've just got to be careful when you get right behind another car. You've just got to wrestle the car around a bit more, because you're going to lose a little bit of downforce naturally, I think, from like the air wash of the car ahead. But he's very much taken that turn 9 quicker. Almost seemed like Benton Reader had some issues there, and he's in the time it's taken me to spout some nonsense, he's right back under the gearbox of Benton Reader. Pushka, another fastest lap. He's enjoying that clear air at the minute. He's 5 seconds off the lead pack. But Murno then a bit wide on exit, so he's got Meshida to worry about now. Meshida's really closing in. He's right behind him. Is this going to be an opportunity for Reuven Meshida? Murno goes defensive, Meshida to the outside, but there's a car ahead, and he's going to have to bail out of that. We might have had a chance if we didn't have Daniel Benton Reader right ahead of him, but unfortunately, he did.
Yeah, I think we've seen this happen at Eau Rouge already a couple of times, where you were too close, too early, and I think that might have been the case here as well. Like, when you rather get held up by the car ahead, at the point where you can't go side by side, and then when that point comes, you already had to back down a little bit. For me, it looked like that for Meshida.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. Now, out the front, Volborn has managed to extend to 0.7 of a second, and now exactly why. He puts in a 1:18 dead, just manages to find that time at the right moment. But Reed Muller's still with Poland's, and this group of 3 is still together as well.
That looks promising, I think. That might be the chance for Lucas Murno now.
Yeah, he's now very much in the slipstream. He'll have DRS, whereas Benton Reader won't, and Murno sweeps through on the racing line. Beautifully done. And they all follow through in the bus stop. So now, is this going to happen in terms of what happened to Hess before? Is Meshida going to then follow through just a few corners later. So,
Yeah, he's already put a couple of car lengths between himself and Daniel Bentonreader. He's already clear of his DRS.
Pace that Lucas Murno has got in clear air is brilliant today. He's doing an incredible job. See how much he can eat into the gap of the leading pack. Now he's got some clear air, but Meshida's definitely going to want to get past Bentonreader, considering he's been able to stick with Murno that whole time. Max Riedmuller into the 1:17s we go, though. Oh, and Poland's just gone wide. This is definitely the opportunity. They go... Oh, I thought he was going to go side by side through the S's. He's not, but surely he's basically bump drafting him through the S's. So, DRS is going to open. When does he pull out? Is he going to be able to make the move? Ooh. No, the door shuts. And I think that's another example of exactly what you were just explaining, of being a bit too close, a bit too soon. I think he needed to get alongside him through the S's to make that stick.
Yeah, that of course is very risky to do that. Like going side by side through the S's, this can easily go wrong.
Absolutely. But I feel like in that situation, that may be what he had to do. And Max Riedmuller, unsurprisingly, because of that, has set a purple first sector. Basically inside Pascal Poland's at that point. So, of course, not much air resistance for him.
But honestly speaking, I don't know. It would be interesting to see the onboard from Max Riedmuller again, because I think Pascal Poland's defensive tactics there were a little bit on the edge. I think he's gone for the inside line, and then just ahead of the braking zone, when Riedmuller was kind of going alongside or trying to do that, he slammed the door on the outside. That was very, very close. Or at least it looked like that from the outside.
Yeah.
So,
now, hopefully we'll get a chance to see Riedmuller's on board from that shortly. But we come back with Daniel Bentonreader, and yes, as expected, Ruben Meshida has managed to clear him as well. So Bentonreader now going to be looking backwards again to Vern von Vent. See if there's going to be some issues with him. But Murno and Meshida both making very solid progress through the field at this point. We'll have to see how much further they can go. Meshida has already cut the gap to 2 seconds towards Murno. There is an interesting train of cars here, not quite within striking range of each other yet. We've got Bentonreader, Von Vent, Fischer, and Vella all together, whereas Hess, who's continued to fall out, is now down in 11th. Wonder what he's been struggling with, if there's been any issues there for him.
yeah, honestly, it's been the case with SCMM and maybe even Scuderia Cesare, though we haven't seen them at all in Montreal. They were very good in the first 2 rounds of the season, but then kind of fell down the order, struggling to score points. If they do, just minor points finishes, 7th, 8th places. So, yeah, I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah,
kind of the same for Danny Weller as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a real shame. And just as we're speaking about it, and we are seeing our first pit stop, I was going to say Heyman's just gained a place, but it's because Philip Feckler is in the pit. So, be interesting. Philip Feckler started down the back because of the grid penalty. Was interesting to see what move he's making. He was on the softs, wasn't he? He was one of the 2 cars on the soft tyres. So that's about 16 laps for the soft tyres. So that's be good to know if anyone else moves on to them. But let's see what he's gone to now. At the minute it's showing... I know he's on to the mediums now. So he is now moving on to the medium tyre. So 15, 16 laps for a soft tyre run. So we'll see if anyone factors that into their strategy today. We are expecting 2 stop strategies this afternoon. So he's going to be very much the outlier. So with that in mind, I imagine the only other driver on soft tyres, which is Aaron Curtis, guessing we're expecting to see them in soon.
Yeah, and their pace wasn't too great either on the soft tyres. I don't know if it's worth it. I've seen them make a couple of moves on the opening laps, but then they were kind of stuck or even tumbling down the order again.
very much a gap developing, so the tyres may already be very much past their best.
Alexander has in the pits as well. Sorry to interrupt.
No, not a problem. That was our first medium tyre pit stop.
Interestingly, I think we've seen Alexander Hess was one of those guys struggling on the tires as well, and I think that might be happening to Daniel Benton-Reeder, who's being tumbling down the order. We've seen how he got passed by Pushka, Murno, and Mashida.
An interesting one. Like this track, like you say, is very heavy on tyre wear because you've got lots of fast corners, and you want the tyre to grip through those corners. But how you take them is going to affect that quite a lot. And as we can see, some drivers maybe throw the car into these corners as Max Riedmuller drops in a fastest lap, just reminding us he's still in the fight. He's only 3/10 behind Pascal Polens at this point. Yeah, how you take those corners is going to affect the life of the tyre, and if you can make them as smooth as possible, as Alexander Hess is struggling to warm up those tyres, takes a little cut through the bus stop, and we now go back to the bus stop now. Poland's again under pressure.
I think Woolborn cut through the grass there as well. We've seen that happen quite to quite a lot of drivers.
So we are still these top three, just class above at the minute. Give the chasing pack bridge the gap to them, or Max Riedmuller try and get between these two cars. And again,
once again, Poland's. But
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's very different lines there into that corner. Right on him through the final corner, and in goes Yannis Woolborn.
And that's a big chance now for Riedmuller to take the lead, but he's just not quick enough on these straights.
I want to check that entry as well, because it seemed like Woolborn jumped in very last minute. Was that entry proper? Because it looked like he was taking the racing line. I mean, to be fair, I was, more focused on these two. We'll have to see if he's done that properly. But at the same time, a big moment for Max Riedmuller. With no DRS for Pascal Polens, he's going to want to get ahead and try and get a few decent laps in.
Poland still had DRS there towards bus stop, but that might be because the DRS detection zone is ahead of the... Oh, we're going to see a replay? Oh, that is the situation I think we wanted to see the replay earlier.
Okay.
Riedmuller was, bump drafting Poland, as you said.
So let's have a look and see what happens here. So DRS open, he was onto the racing line.
Okay, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not in the braking zone. I think he's didn't have anything alongside at that point. All good. And this is not a replay. This is now what's going on. Oh wow! And in goes Poland. So again, he kind of dives in. I'm guessing that's fine within the rules because he's been able to kind of stay out of the way, take the corner, and then not basically be slow on the apex. They must have been told that that's kind of an all right move to make in terms of, pit entry. So there's not just cars going slowly on the apex of that final corner. Woolborn has rejoined in... Oh, is Woolborn?
No, I think that's we've seen that before. He's out on track.
Going to say that. So yeah, Woolborn is rejoined in 10th, now 9th as his teammate Polens, I think, has come out behind. Woolborn now determined not to get held up by Denny Vella and straight past the head of the bus stop.
There's a titanic battle in the foreground there as well with, who's that? Benton-Reeder, Fischer and Von Wendt.
Oh, and this is going to be very interesting because they have got no need to let Yannis Woolborn through at all.
And that's going to cost him dearly.
Absolutely.
That's the chance for Max Riedmuller. He just needs to push right now. And that might be once again the issue of the tire-eating Team Holland cars, maybe.
Potentially, but he's made one. Oh, he's going to get past
that's
2.
Awesome. If he makes that stick, yeah, he does.
Fantastic from Yannis Woolborn. Absolutely brilliant. He's not messing around, but he's also not taking any risks there. He's just cleared them instantly. So Von Wendt shouldn't be too bad there as we see one car pulling into the pits.
I think it's Benton-Reeder.
Yep, absolutely. Hess there also putting in a fastest lap on fresh tyres. So again, showing that, yeah, tyre wear was clearly affecting him as well. This is where the race is going to come alive now, because it is about the tyre strategy. How much longer is Riedmuller going to be able to extend his stint? But how much will he want to when Yannis Volborn is now into clear air? Excellently done to clear those three.
Honestly, I suspect that the Team Holland guys are on the two-stop strategy, and I think if Max was going for that two-stop strategy as well, he should have pitted right now, because Wilborn is now in clean air and will definitely be faster than Riedmuller at the top, so his chance has now kind of disappeared, and he's staying out. So I suspect he may be going for the one-stop here.
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable assumption. We will see if he pulls it wrong. So obviously, to be fair, for a two-stop strategy in the one-stop, we are not far off half distance. So the actual time between pit stops isn't going to be that much. I'd imagine, I think he only maybe needs to extend for 7 or 8 more laps, and that he could easily come in and do his one-stop. Then you also have to wonder, are the Team Holland guys going to stick on mediums all the way through? Or will they have a super fast, soft final stint? In the meantime, Poland's all over Dylan Fisher. Alongside before the DRS zone is open. It's open now, and he will fire straight through. Very efficient, clinical stuff from Holland Racing Team to clear the traffic after their pit stops. They're making this work this afternoon so far. It's looking very promising for them.
Yeah, they did really well with the traffic.
It could have easily all gone very wrong for Volborn with those three fighting, and he's did an incredible job of that. What was essentially a double overtake around this part of the track we're seeing now. Brilliant work from him. He's done everything he needs to so far. Jorn van Vent is the next person in the sights of Pascal Polens.
Interestingly, now that we've been talking about it, maybe Puigdemont and Meschede might be going for that one-stop as well, because I think for the two-stop it might be a bit late now already.
Yeah, this is interesting. This could be the thing that brings them right back into it. And it's the thing that affected the Holland Racing Team's race back in Melbourne, Australia. We saw it to a certain extent in Kyalami, albeit the wet weather. Just trying to... Cars not going quite as quick as them, but having to stop less.
Yeah, and to be fair, Max Riedmuller was able to go as quick as them, so this might be advantage Riedmuller here.
And, in the last couple of laps, he was 5 seconds ahead of Puška. He's managed to extend that gap now to almost 8 seconds. So he's running very well at this point in time.
Oh, and look what we have here. Mano and Meschede once again.
They've been together on track, but not really actually had to race each other that much as of yet. So I wonder if we'll eventually get a bit of a fight between them.
Actually, it's quite interesting that Meschede, he was struggling on tyre wear. I think it was in Montreal where he had to put an extra stop in and was way earlier with his first pit stop than the other guys were. He was running at the top at the beginning of this race, but then that extra pit stop he had to do in Canada has really put him down the order. Today, tyre wear doesn't seem to be an issue for him so far.
Well, fingers crossed it stays that way and he can get himself a really good result this afternoon. It's been a solid drive from both him and Murno, just working their way gradually up through the pack and in good positions now, 3rd and 4th respectively. Just looking at the timing screen, Yannis Volborn has set the fastest lap of a 1 minute 16.1. That is over 1.5 seconds quicker than the next best fastest lap. Yannis Volborn is flying at the minute. And he's coming up to Ruben Meschede now, so he's going to be on...
Yeah,
oh, there he is! And speak and he shall appear, Yannis Volborn. So we're about to have an interesting fight. So for once, these two cars might be about to be overtaken rather than them doing the overtaking. We'll see how quickly he can clear them, because these guys are running at a slightly better pace than the cars Volbon's already cleared.
And I think as we are now very close to the halfway point, we can almost be certain that Riedmüller, Puschke, Murnau, and Meschede are going for that one-stop strategy. And that also means that Wilborn really needs to put in these kinds of lap times, because Wow, Bob Meschede defending aggressively there.
Oh, and they almost go side by side through the bus stop. They both hold on. Move done. Looked like a very on-the-edge move from Meschede there.
Yeah, I don't even know why would he do that. He's on a different strategy, different race. I don't know. That's risky for him as well.
It is, but there's also a part of you, Brian, I think probably at that point where he's thinking, oh, if I can still hold him up, though, in the long run, it will help. But no, on that occasion, he's got him. He's bided his time beautifully, and now he's all over the back of Lucas Murnau. I imagine, unless he gets an incredible run out the final corner, it's going to be same thing again in a lap's time.
Let's see what Murnau does. I think for Murnau it's even more risky now, because he might actually lose a position if he spends too much time defending aggressively. There goes Meschede now into the lane.
Yeah, that does seem like just about for the one stop. We go on board with Yannis Volborn. Up the hill we go. Through turn 4, onto the back straight. The straight line speed of this Holland car is already formidable. But they've got it right. DRS straight through. Volborn back into third. Gap just 13 seconds for the leader. Meschede now rejoining in ninth. Nice bit of clear air for him. All he needs to do is put in some solid, consistent laps. And some places will come back to him. Absolutely.
Oh, isn't that great? 2 different strategies for the race win here. And it will probably all come down to the wire in the end.
I love it when you get a little variety of strategies. It just mixes things up. A little bit of unpredictability. In the meantime, Dylan Fisher on his debut, running nicely in 7th at the minute, although I don't believe he has stopped yet.
No, he hasn't, but neither has Jörn van Wendt. They might be fighting for points, though, towards the end of this race, as they also seem to be on a one-stop strategy.
Oh, and we have 3 big pit stops in at the front. Riedmüller and Puschke and Murnau all in. Yannis Volborn and Pascal Polenz now resume their first and second. And out comes Max Riedmüller. Got a car coming round here. This could be very close between him and... Is that Fisher? It is, but he just manages to get out ahead in time. Look at the amount of time, the gap that Volborn's managed to pull from those laps. Absolutely flying. But as you say, if he has to stop again, then that suddenly changes things. So Riedmüller just needs to lap consistently and well.
Yeah, I think will also be interesting to see the lap times that Riedmüller is now putting in. Of course, he now has the fresher tires, but we suspect that he has to conserve them, so he goes to the end with them. But to be fair, in the first stint, it didn't look like he was holding back, and yet still he was able to go until lap 27 on that set of tires. So let's see what the lap times will be, and if he can even close the gap to Wilborn. Because if he can go quicker than Wilborn right now, things are looking difficult for Yannis to win here.
Absolutely, as we just saw Dylan Fisher, I think, pulling into the pits there. Lucas Murnau, who's had a very solid afternoon so far. Now pick up a place back that he lost from his pit stop. Thanks to everyone who's joining us on the stream this afternoon. Quite a few comments. We've got the Lucas Murnau fan club in as usual. You're a very popular driver on stream, so lovely to see you all here. Got some support for the Weller brothers. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. This might just be the most exciting race you'll see from North America today.
Yeah, I think it will be. Proper racetrack, not some sort of painted parking lot.
Yeah, that's my thoughts
And-
exactly.
Yeah, and actually we have seen actual water on track in
Yes.
qualifying.
Oh, they've
As
put.
Pushki goes for Weller.
Oh, and he's capitalised beautifully there around the outside of turn 9. I think they've put water in it this year, though. So because I think they heard last year they've put
The fake
water in.
marina still exists, but there's no pools as well just next to it.
And in goes Denny Bella for his pit stop.
So that's definitely a one-stop for Danny Weller. I mean, that would be weird if, there's another 2. Yeah, there's another one-stop after that.
Absolutely, I think this must be the one-stop territory now. So everyone in the top 10 apart from Max Heyman has stopped. Dylan Fisher now trying to get closer to Von Vent. They were both together pretty close before they stopped, and they're together afterwards.
Yeah, solid debut from Dylan Fisher. We haven't seen too much from him in this race. Qualified in 12th. But now, he's fighting for the final point today here.
Absolutely, it's a solid performance, and it's he's in there. And when Heyman goes in for his stop, these will both be in the points, so they will be scrapping over a couple. By the looks
exactly.
of it.
Good catch there. Heyman hasn't scored yet. Yeah. Scored.
Well,
He hasn't scored any points so far as well, but he was in the pits so far.
And there is Heyman, and like clockwork, his stop. Got a debut for Heyman as well. Don't think it's going to be points for him today, but he's just going about his business. Like you say, we didn't have any Scuderia Cesario cars on track in Montreal, so great to see 2 back on. And then I think it's next time, or it might be even after Jerez, that it will be Turi and Carpetta as the lineup for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Jerez also a track that will make its comeback after we have not seen that for over 20 years now.
Still for me synonymous with the finale of the 1997 Formula One World Championship.
Here goes Gargiano against Heyman out of the pits.
Yeah, got him there. Tyres still probably not up to temperature there for Heyman. Gargiano and Heyman have raced together a lot in the lower series of IBOS, particularly in RSL. They'll be familiar with each other's driving styles, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I think Heyman will come back after he gets some heat into his tires. And he should be on the fresher side here as well.
The question on stream about the exit line said, "Hey, someone saying Heyman cut the line to go the outside of the pits. Looks so you can go quite wide of that line. You've got, as long as you keep your 2 right-hand tires to the right of that line, it is legal. So depends how far over he might have done, and you'd imagine that Race Direction will have spotted that. But we'll see if anything comes of it. He might have been okay. We can get quite far out under those rules.
Yeah. As soon as we get any information from Race Direction, we will get that directly, and we'll share it with you, of course.
Max Riedmuller now puts in a fastest lap of a 1:16, gap down to 10 seconds. Riedmuller is chipping away. So that's going to be important. If he is going to be doing just the one stop compared to Holland Team Racing's 2, he's doing enough right now because he doesn't have to, catch and pass them on track. But as long as he can, be within a good region when they are coming in for their final stops, that's good enough. So, interesting. Interesting to see. They could immediately throw us for a loop and all do the opposite of what we're expecting. But it does seem like, because of the timings of the stops, there's about 10 laps between the Holland team cars and Max Riedmüller's. That they are on a 2-stop. Riedmüller is on a 1.
I mean, Riedmüller's stop was at lap 27, and that is almost precisely the halfway point of this race. So it would only make sense for him to do one stop. Except, of course, the tires behave much differently in the second half of this race. And that wouldn't be the first time we see that either, because in Bahrain, in the second half of the race, the drivers struggled much more on tire wear. We've heard that in the interviews after the race.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that's the case here. At the minute, track temperature is holding at 41, ambient temperature at 19. So see if that fluctuates. It's been that way for quite a while. But if it goes up, then as you say, that will not be ideal, the tyres on these cars. Now, Gino Gagiano is making decent progress. He's sticking a nose at the inside of Aaron Curtis. Thinks better of it. Might get another chance here, but I think he's possibly going to have... I think that is a Team Holland car coming to lap them. Because, Heyman's a lap down and just in shot. So, this fight is going to possibly get interrupted by Yannis Volborn in a second. But we'll see if Gagiano has a think about it into turn 1. We've not seen any moves on there today. He's closing. He looks. And he's better of it. So, surely the run up to the bus stop now. Definitely.
You don't want that to happen if you're Yannis Volborn right now, because he's losing time. Look at that. 8 seconds now only to Riedmüller.
Absolutely, and the thing is, Gagiano thinks this is my opportunity. No, I don't think he's going to be close enough. They're going to the blue flags are being waved. Going to have to back out at some point, and Volborn is now.
Cost him.
Volborn maybe got a bit impatient there as well, and a little bit of a wobble from Volborn. He's through, but now it's vital for Gagiano in his fight with Curtis that he can try and follow Volborn back up to Curtis.
Why is he so slow? I expect him to be much faster than Aaron Curtis, but now he's catching up. But
really, there's a really struggling. It almost looked like that, Gagiano had to let off there. Oh, and this is not ideal, but they're through. Volborn's clear.
Oh, now that's.
Oh, and now Gagiano, is this a chance for a move into turn 1? He goes to the extreme right-hand side. He's ahead, he's late on the brakes, and he gets the move done. Brilliant from Gagiano. A little bit hairy there, but at least they all managed to execute that without any issues. But will Curtis fight back? He looks like he's looking very racy as well, and Heyman's there as well. He's not out of the picture either. Curtis back alongside. Oh, and he just thinks better of it.
Just behind Poland's, we can see it in the background here. That might help Yannis Volborn, of course.
So at the minute, Poland's can play rear gunner. He can absolutely try and dictate the pace as best he can. But if Riedmüller can clear, I mean, it depends. If Riedmüller is trying to save his tyres, he might not want to fight and sit up behind Poland's for too long. As Daniel Benton Reader enters the pits in the back on our timing screens. I know this is going to be interesting now how Max Riedmüller is going to play it and how aggressive he goes at this point, because that will give us some indication to what strategy he is on. But he seems to very much be climbing all over the back. Pascal Poland's, and he's almost like he was going to look into turn 10. There we go. Can he get a good exit? He stayed right up behind him through the final turn. DRS will open. Not going to have a look though into turn 1. This could be a golden opportunity, though. He's right with him. But is he with him too early as we head up the hill?
Yeah, I think he is, once again. But now, let's see what the DRS does for him.
I want to try and catch him before Poland's gets DRS off the back markers, but Poland's goes defensive and they're okay.
No chance.
And already now, gap is 6 seconds to Volborn, so Poland's doing his job. perfectly so far. And then these two are going to have to overcome the back markers ahead.
I think it'll be interesting to see as well how much Poland is prepared to play that team game for Yanis Volbon, because of course he also has ambitions for the championship. He's not too far behind Volbon.
Absolutely. Second in the championship, just 9 points behind. And
Contact!
Riedmuller just saw an opportunity to try and put a wheel alongside. Very good there from Heyman. He just decides to duck out and not get in the way of that. But
Volbon in the pits. Volbon for his second pit stop.
Oh, that is a lot earlier than I was expecting, but that's almost certainly going to be a medium tyre then at this point. And now this is a vital moment for Max Riedmuller. Can he try and clear Pascal Polens? Because if he does and gets out of the way, maybe this is at the point now. Will Polens become a bit of a sacrificial lamb? Will he try and stay out and extend and hold up Riedmuller while Volborn tries to work his way through? He's come out back in 6th. He's going to have to try and clear Murnau, Meshida, Pushka. And as far as we're aware, those 3 are on 1 stops. So it's not going to be pit stops. He's going to have to overtake them. He's already right on the back of Lucas Murnau.
But that's not an ideal spot to come across someone here. Oh, Riedmuller's alongside Polens, and now I think he's got him. Yes, he does.
Oh, and I tell you what, I bet the back marker of Aaron Curtis might have played a part in that. But that's a huge moment in this race. Max Riedmuller is through, already a second clear. Is Pascal Polens going to be ducking in anytime soon now?
Outside of his DRS
And
already
he is.
as well. That was very late.
That was very late. I definitely feel like there's some clarification on... I thought the intention was just to stay as far right as possible with that, but we've not heard anything. Now, this is going to be the move for the lead. So here we go. Through toe we go. Oh, and he's just run wide. He just seems to have run wide on exit of toe. It's not even got anything to do with Aaron Curtis. And then he manages to get the move done the next one. Excellent work from Max Riedmuller.
Yeah, well done. That is race critical for him, that move.
We have a very similar situation as Volborn is now past Lucas Murnau.
Oh, there's... No. It looked like there might be a spin from that car behind because I saw some dirt kicking up, but he kept it, whoever that was.
Someone probably on the ragged edge through the bus stop. You do get some dirt kicked up. But yeah, no issues, it seems like. So it's a similar situation now for Volborn as it was all the way back to round 1 at Albert Park, where, again, he stopped again and was on the charge to try and catch the leading group. But that day it was Pushka he was trying to hunt down. Today it is Max Riedmuller.
Yeah, and more bad news for Volborn because Pushka and Meshida, they're also on the 1 stop. They won't be coming in. So he needs to make it past them on track.
And how quickly does that now is good in the direction of this race, as Volborn shows what he can do in clear air. 1 minute 15.8. He's got to try and clear these as quickly as possible. But at the end of the day, Pushka's in the fight for the championship. Meshida's trying to, build up, his own campaign after starting the season late. Definitely not going to make it easy for him. Or at least from an entertainment perspective, I hope not.
I don't think so, because, they are in a battle of their own for second right now. So,
Absolutely.
He will focus on the road ahead.
So Poland's out in 6th. Now got to try and catch and pass Murnau himself. Riedmuller now, the gap to about 14 seconds. Last lap was a 1 minute 16.5 compared to Yanis Volborn's fastest lap of 1 minute 15.8. But obviously, as he closes up to these two, he's not going to be able to do that every single lap. So it'll be very interesting to see. At the minute, Riedmuller is running about 0.6 of a second faster than these two, this pairing of Pushka and Meshida. Have you noticed how I've returned and Team Holland are having issues with their tyres again? I think I must be cursed for them. Like I said at the top of the programme, guys, if you want to bribe me to not commentate on these races, I am very bribable. Money or food, it's fine. As a back marker moves out of the way, Walborn there on the charge, trying to get up to Pushkin Meshida. Certainly not reeling them in super fast. He's having to work.
And we can already do a bit of the maths. 16 laps to go. About 16 seconds Wilborn is behind Riedmüller. So he needs to be 1 second quicker now every lap until the very end of this race. This, of course, is if Riedmüller's tires don't go off the cliff and he loses a lot of time towards the end. But he needs some very, very quick lap times. And of course not to be held up too much by Pushkin Meshida here, but Pushkin Meshida will be much harder to pass than anyone else he has moved past today.
Absolutely. And, you know, we saw how quickly he was able to just overcome some. This might be an opportunity for Meshida, though. Straight line speed, so strong. The optimal car isn't as good in a straight line, and he's through. And that's one. Pushka next. And we saw how these two fought with each other back in Montreal. So, could be another one again, but you don't know. Obviously, Walborn's got the fresher tyres. We might clear him quicker. Philip Feckler, in the meantime, running in 10th. Daniel Benton Reader trying to make his way past. Gets a good exit from turn 1 and follows him through up the hill.
Oh, and yeah, that's off that situation.
Yeah, Feckler makes that unfortunately easy. Benton Reader through. Back with the leading pack. Pushka leading Walborn. Riedmüller's made the most of these last couple of laps. He's added another second on this chasing pack, so very important. This could be the moment, though, for Yannis Walborn. See what the closing speed's like. Up through 2 and 3. Up the hill.
Oh, it's looking very good. I think he's going to be quite easy for him. Yeah, it is.
Going to make him go the long way round. Is he able to swoop back onto the racing line? Yes, he is. Yannis Walborn is through. So, 15.3 seconds. That is the gap. We're on lap 42. Can Yannis Walborn catch Max Riedmüller? How much are the tyres going to drop off? This stint is going to be longer for Riedmüller than the first one he did. Only by a couple of laps, though, it has to be said. But his pace was pretty solid and consistent all the way through that first stint. I don't think Riedmüller had any serious drop-off in time. So, I'm not expecting him to drop a cliff. I think Walborn's got his work cut out. And already, it's probably dependent on the part of the track it's on, it's about 15.4 seconds. So, let's see what he can do. Couple of back markers just to clear. They shouldn't be too much issue. I'm expecting this one. Yep, there we go, out of the way before the bus stop. Now a bit of clear road for Yannis Walborn. Looking at the radar, I think there's only one car on track between him, one back marker, Gino Gagiano. He's got a bit of clear space now. Track temperatures have just crept up by 1 degree. Ambient temperature also up by 1 degree. 42 and 20 respectively. So, could play a part in how time management goes, especially for Riedmüller on the one stop.
Pascal Poland's pace is a little bit disappointing. He's still behind Murnau in 6th. So, that might be good news for Pushka, maybe.
Certainly he had to come a little bit further It's a much more of a gap to make up to Murnau than Volborn did, but he's absolutely not closed any kind of rapid rate. So what's the times looking like at the minute? So Volborn 15.7, Riedmuller 16.3, so there is about half a second between them. While in the meantime, Poland's is doing 16 dead. So it's not a terrible pace. The second quicker than Murnau, the man he's chasing, on the last lap. So he can get into DRS range, he might be able to get the move done. But as you say, will that affect his chances of a podium today?
And also right now, I don't think the rate that Wilborn is catching Riedmüller is good enough for an attack towards the end of this race.
Like you said, it was 1 second a lap with 16 laps to go. Passed him with, I think, 14 to go. And only half a second quicker at this point in time. So, considering those two bits of information, yeah, he's absolutely not close enough. But he's still going to try. That gap is still coming down.
Oh, that's interesting with the back marker here.
He's going to move across out the way, but good move from Pascal Poland's. Very nice move indeed. Kept it calm. Very respectful stuff from Murnau. I think Murnau knows he doesn't need to race that one too hard considering the pace and tyre disparity. But Murnau's got this very awkward situation where he's got two back markers with DRS all over him.
But they're behaving well. Ooh, as Poland misses that final bit of the bus stop once again.
The game punishes track limits automatically. We've not seen any penalties. I've not spotted any as far as I'm aware, so it seems like they're doing enough to not get punished. I think it's... I can't remember the exact number, but you get a handful of warnings as you do before you get punished, so no one's breached that this afternoon as far as I can tell. So 10 laps to go. Gap is 13.4 seconds. But essentially, it needs to be almost a second and a half.
Yeah.
A lap.
I have the feeling that Curtis is always a bit choosing awkward points for himself to let lap cars by. I mean, it's very fair to those at the top, but he's cost him a position against Gaggiano earlier, and now he's put him themselves into a very vulnerable position now against Hess. Oh, but Murnau is he's still so unlucky with the DRS there. He needs to get clear of them right now.
Oh! How he's managed to hang on to it there, I have no idea.
He might even not lose the position.
Oh! Unlucky.
Unfortunately.
Almost Lucas Murnau was helping out Curtis there, giving him the little DRS run, but sadly not. So Curtis does drop a place. Max Heyman now all over the back of them, and see what they can do. Fend off Heyman. All these guys outside the points, but still putting on a good show and fighting for every place. Must admit, I did not spot when Bella retired. Guessing that's Rene.
That is indeed Rene, yeah. Benny, his brother, is still running in 8th. Dylan Fisher came in for a second pit stop. I was a bit confused. I didn't see when he made his first one, but I was almost sure that he was one of those guys for going for a one stop. But that has put Fisher outside of the points. Danny Weller back into the points. But once again, just 1 point for Danny Weller here today. He was leading big portions of the race in Kyalami, of the race in Melbourne, but now he's struggling to score points even.
Yeah, it's very strange. You have to wonder, maybe is the development path that Better Julia are going down not helping? Because Benton Reader while not quite at the same pace as Vela was, also putting some very strong performances. But yeah, both of them sat outside the points now. Yeah, it's a shame, but it's going to be interesting. We'll see if Fisher can maybe do anything on the fresher tyres. He might still have a shot at a point on his debut. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, he should at least have fresher tyres than Danny Weller. So maybe that will come to his help. There is Danny Weller.
I think he's had a track limits moment at one point on this track because the timing screen is showing him his outlap, which we know he's not just been in the pits. So yeah, that definitely means he's maybe had an off somewhere, but kept it going. So Fisher now, well, when I originally mentioned it was 5 seconds. The gap is 3.9. So Fisher, full push. There might be a chance for a debut point for Optimal. Teammate Reuven Meshter running in 4th. Could be a very good day for them. Remember, they started the day 8th in the Constructors. So a double points finish today for them would be really good to get them up through the standings.
Yeah, they have a strong driver lineup right now. Meshter scored on debut. Could have even been higher without that extra pit stop he had to do. And now Dylan Fisher, yeah, he's a lot quicker than Danny Weller. Look at that. Now the gap is barely 3 seconds. So I think there will be an attack in a couple of laps.
Be a great story for Dylan Fisher on his debut.
And where I'm almost certain that there won't be an attack now is at the top, because still 10 seconds the gap between Riedmüller and Wilborn.
And the last lap, Yannis Wilborn was only 4/10 quicker than Riedmüller. It's just not going to be enough. Wilborn will have been running those tyres very hard, and I imagine they are going to be past their best. They're not going to be delivering as much, whereas Riedmüller just needs to keep the same pace he's done. The consistency has been spot on for him this afternoon, and it served him well. And most importantly, he managed to make the move past Pascal Polens. I'd be really interested to know what would have happened if he was stuck behind Polens. Would Polens have stayed out for longer? Hold him out. Be interesting to know.
Right now, this is the only on-track battle we have between Curtis and Heyman, but there will be a very interesting battle for the podium, I suspect, in the next couple of laps. Meshter is just 1.3 seconds behind Pushke, and Polens now has entered the DRS window of Reuven Meshter, so all the more incentive for Meshter to try and get those 2 extra tenths so he can open his rear wing as well against Pushke.
And Fisher, the teammate of Meshter, has also entered the DRS zone of Vela, so there could be some interesting points-paying battles about to come to life. It's hard to know where to look at this point, but we are going to join Dylan Fisher immediately in a good position in the run up the hill. Got a good exit. See what the closing speed's like when they reach the top of the hill. In there, so DRS is going to open now.
That's looking good already.
Defensive move from Blur. Oh, but they go side by side for the bus stop. You don't see that often, and that is absolutely why you don't see that often. Danny Vella tried to hang on for the last points position, but now here we go. Pascal Polens is right on the back of Reuven Meshter. Had a comment in the stream saying Reuven P4 with this dog of a car. If it was a better car, I'm sure he'd be competing for wins. That's very complimentary of Reuven Meshter, who's doing an incredible job for Optimal. What can he do to fend off Pascal Polens? It's going to be very hard. The closing speed.
Too much.
Yeah. Through Pascal Polens up into 4th. Oh, a little bit messy on exit, but Meshter keeps it going.
Now I would love to see a replay of that Fisher-Weller incident, of what happened there. I'm sure Race Direction will have a look at it, and I'm sure that Danny Weller won't be too happy about what happened there.
Hard to see from that angle who was like, did they both just try and go for the same spot? Should someone have yielded? Yeah, it would be good to see a replay of that, agreed. Meantime, Pascal Polens is now trying to chase Philip Pushka. And here is that
Yeah.
replay, I imagine.
Thank you very much.
Ooh. Now, from Denny Vella's perspective, that it seems like he almost doesn't know he's there until the very last second.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, that one. You could call it a racing incident, or do you think, oh, but it's not like Fisher wasn't alongside. But maybe
yeah,
it's
Fisher
just
was alongside. You were able to see it, like he was even ahead. Yeah, this
go.
is, I think, the more interesting point of view now.
Oh, you
I
know what?
think
He's side. Yeah, I think Dylan
Fisher
Fisher's
was
not.
there.
Yeah, he's not done anything wrong. He might have had a bit of understeer there. I think it's a racing incident, unfortunately, for Denny Vella.
Yeah, I'm afraid so too. He might see it very different, but
Pascal Polens has now dropped a 1 minute 15.4. He is currently, I'm not sure when, actually, that wasn't now. Sorry, I thought it was the last lap. So he's currently running at a 1 minute 16.8. So he's running the same pace as race leader Max Riedmuller. And most importantly, he's running slightly quicker than Philip Pushka ahead of him. He's going to want to try and get that final podium place. These two just, I think, a point apart in the standings at the minute. The Polens will want to try and get ahead, but there is traffic. So this is... Oh, and that I think might have been a call from Race Directory was heard to Gino Gagiano. Blue flag. Do not get in the way of these two fighting for a podium position. But Gino has not moved ahead of the bus stop.
I think now he does.
Has to, and he does. Bails out on the loop. Not too bad in the end.
By the way, Philip Fekela running in 10th, that is a good job because his season hasn't been too great. There are no points for 10th, but still, I think that's a positive result for him.
Oh, agreed. And considering, he was starting on the back row with the grid penalty, he's done some good work this afternoon to get up to there, so not bad at all. He might come under pressure from Gagiano and Benton Reader, but solid drives. So we are just under 2 laps to go. Riedmuller is very much comfortably holding off Volborn. This is the big moment on track. It is if Philip Pushka can hold him off. And unfortunately, Gino Gagiano has just been given a 5-second time penalty for ignoring blue flags. But there's no blue flags here. This is for racing position. Pascal Polens gets the move done. The straight line speed of that Holland is unmatched. But, Pushka leaves it in very late, almost contact on exit. Can Pushka fight back in any way? Important move from Polens, gets it done just in time. Oh, and there's a crash in the background. Car's just gone in the background. Not sure who that was.
Yeah, that's Better Julia.
That I can't tell who that is.
No, is it Ruben Meschede?
Oh no!
It is.
That's incredible. What happened there?
Oh no!
That must have been, unless he's lost it under his own steam.
I mean, there was chaos behind with Gagiano, Hess, and Fekela. But that looks
here we
like
go.
he does
no,
lose
he's
it on his
held
own.
it. Oh, he has. Oh my goodness. That's such a shame. Just a little bit wide on the exit of the loop. And then coming into the shoot, it all goes a bit wrong.
That is disappointing.
We are on the final lap, though, as we join Max Riedmuller.
Yeah, he's just coming around the final couple of corners.
So heading into turn 10. It's been another battle of strategy, but Max Riedmuller has been consistent and quick. and he's got the job done. Yes, Volborn is charging, but Riedmuller, he's not out of this yet. Fantastic. Max Riedmuller is your winner for Maniti Racing at Watkins Glen. Congratulations. Yanis Volborn comes home second. A very similar finish to Albert Park, where Volborn just charging, just trying to shut the gap, but could not consolidate that second pit stop. Pascal Polens, though, makes it a double Holland podium. Their grip on the constructors looking so strong already at this point. Philip Pushka comes home in fourth. Lucas Murno, though, another great result for him, down to Meshida's misfortune. Now, so has Meshida been in at this point?
I think he's
still
trying to hold on to it, and it might even work.
So he's got Von Vent just behind him. Can Von Vent try and take it? No. Meshida hangs on. A very brave move.
Did Von Vent back out of it? It looked like he had much faster momentum, but he just lifted the throttle.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right there. Oh my goodness. So, well, that is the end of the points paying positions, though. And Fischer does score a point on his debut. Excellent work from him. But Max Riedmuller is your race winner. This is the provisional race result. Max Riedmuller wins from Yanis Volborn and Pascal Polens. A front row Holland Team Racing lockout, and Max Riedmuller manages to jump them both. An incredible drive from him. Philip Pushka comes home fourth, Lucas Murno fifth, Ruven Meshida, despite that late drama, manages to bring it home sixth. Jörn Von Vent for Maniti Racing really struggled in the latter part of qualifying, but has brought it home seventh. A great double points finish for Maniti, and it's a double points finish for Optiminal as well. Dylan Fisher, a point on his debut. Denny Vella finishing just outside. Daniel Benton Reeder, the better Julia Cars, 9th and 10th, rounding out the top 10. Gino Gajano, so he's got a 5-second penalty. I'm not sure if that's been factored into these results yet, so we'll find out later on after the race. But Gajano 11th at the minute provisionally, Hess 12th, Feckler 13th, Max Heyman is 14th, Curtis 15th, René Vella is 16th. He retired, as did David Junt and Bartosz Karpeta. So, bear with us. We will try and get our race winner into the chat with us. And we will speak to Max Riedmuller shortly.
Yeah, but that was a strategic masterclass there by Max Riedmuller. To hold on to it and... Ruven Meshida actually only lost one spot despite that crash in the end. So, I mean, damage limitation, I guess.
He's done an excellent job. Yeah, absolutely. To hold on to that is a shame. Absolutely. The maybe tires had just run out towards the end, but yeah, good job for him to hang on. See if we can get Max to join us.
I think what we can definitely say already is that Max Riedmuller will move up into second in the driver's standings. He will have passed Pushka and Polens after that result today.
Bear with us. We're just seeing if we can get Max. I'm sure he's just doing his own post-race checks. We'll see if we can get our race winner in for a quick chat before we end the stream.
I think we might get him in 12 seconds. Yeah.
And we are now joined by race winner Max Riedmuller. Max, congratulations. Looked like a really tough race out there this afternoon. I think you had to deal with, quite imposing pace of the Holland cars. Was it always the plan to go for a one stop, or were you constantly toying between the one and the two stop?
At the beginning, I really don't know how long the tires were able to keep on, but how long the stint goes, I know that the one stopper is the better one, and also when both Holland cars goes in, I know that I should go for the one stop because I can't overtake. I have chance to overtake these guys, and yeah, at the end it worked.
Yeah, on that, looking at how frustrating it was in the early phase of the race, you were right on the back of both of them, and just couldn't seem to make a move happen. Was that frustrating? And what was the issue? Is it straight line speed that was the issue? Or is it the fact the straights aren't long enough? You know, what was kind of going through your head in those early phases when you were kind of just stuck in third?
Today was really good with top speed. In the previous races, I had more, uh, not that top speed, but today was good, but it is not enough at the end. And yeah, it is frustrating when you know you are faster and you can't overtake, but must deal with it and keep calm and yeah, stay cool behind. And yeah, at the end it worked out well. So yeah, was good.
Absolutely. You had to wait for your moment very much when it came to getting past Pascal. Did he just
Yeah.
have a moment? Was it kind of an opportunistic moment of he's run wide and you just saw your chance?
Yeah, I know that my strengths are in the corners, and when he made a mistake, I must be there. And yeah, I was going in and hoped that it will go well, push to pass and BRS and all what the car has. Yeah, yeah, but it was also the game changer that I passed him because I think when I'm not past him there, I that Janus will win this race at the end.
Absolutely. I think we were questioning whether Pascal might have stayed out for
Yeah,
longer if you were behind him, just to kind of back you into.
I thought that also. Yeah, but
So with that result provisionally, we think that's going to move you into potentially second in the championship. Obviously, Yanis is looking quite foreboding up at the front. Are you kind of focused on a championship fight at this point?
yeah, absolutely. I think the next two races are more on our side with car, with Gels and Monaco. And yeah, after that, the championship fight is on. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Max, congratulations again. Thanks very
Thank you,
much for
guys.
joining us.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you. Bye-bye.
congratulations. Bye.
So fantastic. That was Max Riedmuller there, your race winner. Hopefully to get in the championship fight. So last time we saw Volburn versus Pushka. This time we saw Volburn versus Riedmiller. And yeah, there's still a chance that any one of four drivers could win this title. The big question behind the scenes is, there's two Holland Team Racing cars there. Is their team orders in there? But they're still very much up there. Next time out, though, it's in just a week's time where we go to Jerez. Well, I unfortunately won't be going to Jerez, which I'm sure Team Holland Racing will be absolutely thrilled about. But Robin will be there for another race. That should be an interesting one, Robin. You looking forward to it?
Yeah, sure. It's always great to see tracks coming back to the calendar that we haven't seen in a while. We've talked about it earlier in this race, and yeah, as Max said, Hera is also a track with very different characteristics to, for example, Bahrain, which was absolutely Team Holland territory. He expects himself to be stronger at Jerez as well. So yeah, the championship is on, as he said. I think. It will be very interesting to see over these next couple of races to see who keeps in that championship fight and to see who has to drop off.
Absolutely. And after that, another track that will be good for downforce, of course, is Monaco, which I'll be back for. It'll be a lot of fun to see how that goes. But yeah, there's still so many twists and turns left to go in this season. But it's been another fantastic afternoon of racing. But thank you so much for everyone who's joined us on stream. Thank you to you, Robin, as well. And yeah, we'll see you in a week's time for Jerez. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.